Hi, what we're going to talk about now is the whole idea of doing seafood on the grill. It's not a difficult thing to do, but actually you can spend your whole life becoming a grill master. First thing I want to talk about is the difference between grilling and barbecuing. Grilling is what we're doing here, high heat, quick cooking, which is absolutely perfect for seafood because we don't want to overcook it, we don't want to dry it out, we don't want to do those things. Barbecuing by definition is a whole different deal. And for any of you from West Texas or deep in the South, you know what I'm talking about here. It is slower cooking. By that I mean lower heat cooking, long time in a big smoky environment. So this is high heat, quick cooking. The key to just a couple of keys, I mean it's not a difficult thing to do, but things I like to point out to people are, number one, the idea of having two heat levels, having part of the grill at a lower heat, part of the grill at a higher heat. It gives us the ability to kind of bounce back and forth and do what we need to do. If you have a gas grill like this one, pretty easy, I can control it down here. If you have a charcoal grill, it's also easy. Put a few more briquettes on one side and maybe on the other side don't put any, and that way you get that two heat method happening. The other thing that I want to point out, and I think often when we're grilling, we forget about the importance of this thing, the hood or the cover that's on there. It's our friend. When we put the hood down, what happens is the heat level goes up, the grill gets hotter, and that's exactly what we want to do. We want to quick cook with this thing. And also what happens is we get this convection happening. The heat circulating around in there really helps us to cook things faster at the same time. There are all kinds of things you can add to your grill experience, and you don't have to have them, but sometimes they're fun to do. Grill baskets like this. If I had a piece of, for example, Alaska salmon that I didn't fillet, but a nice thick piece of it, I could put it in here. It would make it easier to turn it. These things are nice. We're going to do these today. They're actually non-stick surfaces. It enables me to take delicate fish, put it right on the grill, and turn it without it kind of falling apart. Also, grill pans, ridge grill pans like this are wonderful. You can both use them on the grill, but they also enable you to do grill-like things on the stove in the kitchen. So I think the thing that scares us all about grilling fish is we put it on there and it's going to stick. And so just keep this in your mind. Make sure that the grill itself is very clean, that you've brushed it down, there's no stuff sticking on there, and that you're both oiling the grill and oiling the fish. And the oiling of the fish could happen in maybe the little marinade that you're putting on it. One of the little tricks that I found is helpful so that you don't get too much oil on here and get flare up is to sacrifice a clean kitchen towel, tie it tightly with string, and just lightly soak it with olive oil. And that way when I do it, it lightly coats the grill without putting too much on there. I've oiled both sides of these beautiful slices of Alaska salmon that are here. This would work equally well with any other thick-cut fish like halibut, anything that you preferred. And all I'm going to do is do a dry rub, a dry marinade really over the top of this. This is one that I made, but you could certainly, if you have a favorite one that's available in the market, use that. And the whole secret here is just a very light coating. We want to be careful not to put too much on because remember, we want to taste the salmon, not the flavoring on top. What I would do with this is after putting this little light coating on top is I'd stick it back in the refrigerator for half an hour or so. That little bit of time will help that flavor to penetrate into the flesh of the fish, making it even better. I want to point out to you too, we have done this with the skin on. Remember, the skin again gives us flavor and that little bit of fat which helps keep the fish moist. And here I'm doing it on a moderately high part of the grill because again I want it to cook quickly. I'm going to take this and we're going to do it cut side down, skin side up initially on the grill. Put it across the grate like so, and then we'll finish cooking it on the skin side, which will again keep it moist and flavor it. And this fish this size will probably take 4 or 5 minutes total is all. So we're at the point at which these are probably about ready to turn. And one of the things, especially when the fish is cut this way, I can look along the side and I can sort of see how far the heat has penetrated in there. And this is about 1/4 of the way up. So all we're going to do is, and again, if we've oiled the grill well and oiled our fish a little bit, it should, hopefully this will be the case, not stick. Ooh. So we're going to turn those over onto the skin side like so. And I just get used to using my fingers. I find that that's a whole lot better. Put this down, and these will now finish in about, 2 minutes. Again, remember when we take them off the grill, they continue to cook, so don't overcook them now. Here's really one of my favorite ways of fixing fish on the grill, and one of the simplest at the same time. I have a beautiful piece of Alaska salmon here, a fillet of salmon. We're going to cook it whole, and what I've done is just to paint it with a little bit of a little marinade I made out of soy and ginger. You could make your own, you could buy one that's already on the market, but paint it a couple of times so that that flavor is there. And what we're going to do, I have a baking sheet here. I've put some foil down. This will make cleanup easier. That'll be great. And I'm cooking this particular one. It has the skin on. Skin on is a good thing in this instance because skin has lots of flavor. It also has that little bit of fat underneath there, which will help keep the meat moist. All I'm going to do with this is put it right into the grill. In this one, we don't need to worry too much about the heat level. We want it to be evenly hot, probably moderately high, because again, we want to cook it quickly. Make sure to put the lid down so that we can take advantage of that convection, which will cook it evenly. Okay, here we go. The fish looks beautiful at this point. We want to check to make sure that it's done. And the best way to do that, just take the point of a knife and we'll just separate the flesh here just a little bit so we can take a peek in. The fish is opaque all the way through at this point, so we know that it's done. We want to take it off the heat at that point because remember, heat is captured in there, so it's going to continue to cook a little bit. Serve it this way, serve it cold, serve it warm, serve it however you want to. A really delicious preparation. This is another favorite way to cook fish on the grill, especially delicate fish that that are especially vulnerable to kind of falling apart and sticking. What I'm using is our non-stick grill tray here that's perforated, and all I'm going to do with this is to paint our scallops. We've skewered these with some limes in between, which is very pretty and also adds a nice flavor note to it. When we skewer them, we use 2 skewers, and the reason for that is if we just use one, when we tried to turn them, they would kind of move around, and so this makes sure that they stay in place. And with this, put that right on the grill. Again, you can sort of see it begin to smoke. It'll cook in 2 minutes or so, but because we have it on this little perforated grill plate, what it's going to make, it's going to enable us to easily turn these and not have them stick. So that's it. 2 minutes is about all this is going to take on this hot grill, and we have this up pretty high, probably medium hot heat. So that's all. We don't want to overcook the scallops. They should be done through, but not dried out. Let's take a look and see what's happening here. Oh, they're nicely done. So what we're going to do is turn these over. They're just developing a little color on top. You can see a little browning, and that's about as much as we want to do. Again, lid down because we want to take advantage of that high heat and the convection that's going on. We'll come back to these in about a minute. They'll be done and we'll serve them up. Here we are. Aren't these beautiful, nicely browned? You can touch them and feel them, and they still need to not be hard and rubbery and all cooked, but that's it. It couldn't be simpler. Don't be intimidated by grilling. Start with great Alaska seafood. Cook it quickly. That's all there is to it. What a delicious meal.